Okay, y'all, so this is the video on how to cast a gay love spell, and this is for men. Um, Maybe in the future I can do a video on how to cast a gay love spell for women. Um, but that is not a spell that I have created as of yet. But also too, maybe you can just take this video as a template for creating your own spell, as far as for women, okay? Or even for other men. I mean, like, you should always make your magic your own, okay? Anyways, so whether if you want to copy this spell exactly as how I give it, or if you want to modify it, it's fine, okay? Y'all like my necklace? I've been watching Game of Thrones lately, and I bought this amulet of House Targaryen because I'm obsessed with Daenerys' character. She's fucking raw in that show. Anyway, so I guess I'm just gonna get into this, alright? First of all, I want to just cover some simple things, like when you do a gay love spell, you need to, okay, let me not say it like that. When you're doing these gay love spells, you don't really need, what the hell am I trying to say, y'all? When you cast a gay love spell, how I do it, I call on specific deities, alright? What I was trying to say is you don't need to call on deities if you don't want to, but I do. I always call on deities in most of my spells, the majority of them. I call on deities because to me that they are a immense help in any spell work, okay? And also too, you don't have to view these as deities as far as these gods and goddesses. You can view it as just the planetary energies, which is what I tend to do. I tend to view different things as planetary energies, just energies, basically. But I give it a deity, what do you call that? An anthropomorphized form, because I understand the importance of building a relationship with the energy. And in order to build a relationship with the energy, you really need to kind of personify it. So this is just how I view these things. Even with Goddess Hecate, I don't necessarily view her as an anthropomorphized being, okay? To me, everything is an energy, a current of energy. That doesn't mean it doesn't have its own consciousness, though, okay? It just means that, gods and goddesses aren't human. They don't have a human form. They're beyond us. They're transcendent. They're just an energy itself that does have its own consciousness. So while I understand that, and that's how I view it, I also understand that, from the human level, you really need to be able to build a relationship with the consciousness of that energy. And it's just easier if you anthropomorphize that said energy, okay? I hope that makes sense to y'all. So, a lot of what I do could seem contradictory in magic, but to me, everything has its polar opposite within it. And what might seem like contradiction, when you look at things in terms of absolutes, you really limit yourself, okay? So even though I view the gods and goddesses as energies, I still believe that they do have their own consciousness. And I still recognize the importance of anthropomorphizing them at a level of building a relationship with that energy. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. Now, with all that said, the deities that I would invoke for the gay love spell are, well, for this spell in particular, I would invoke Zeus and Apollo. Okay? Once again, if you just want to view these as the planetary energies, that would be Jupiter and the Sun. Okay? So, there is sometimes I would also include the god Hermes or the planet Mercury for this. But predominantly I utilize Apollo and Zeus or Jupiter and the Sun because they have mythologies and stories that really explain or show that they have homosexual tendencies and energies, okay? I'm not so sure that Hermes does. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But so, okay. First of all, those are the two gods I would use in this kind of spell. So if you don't have some kind of relationship already with those two gods, then I would recommend that before you even cast the spell, as far as, once again, how I do it, this is how I do a gay love spell. Excuse me, but try to build a relationship up with those two gods first before you will continue on with the gay love spell, how I do it, and with using their energies, okay? So if you already have a relationship built up with those gods, you can then just proceed with the rest of the spell. So the next thing that I would do, I didn't really plan out how I was going to do this video, so I don't have like notes written down or anything. But I'm just going to walk y'all through how I would do it. Basically, utilize candles, okay, because this is kind of a candle spell. You need 2 candles. Unless you're trying to create a triad relationship or something, then you would use 3. But, you know, predominantly, most people just want one partner. So you would use 2 candles, okay? One you would inscribe with your name. Now, you can use any kind of candle. It could be a regular taper candle. It could be a chime candle. It could be a jar candle, a votive candle, a pillar candle, like whatever, okay? It could be a male figure candle. Whatever. But basically what you're going to do is inscribe your name on one of those candles. And also these can be any color. Most usually red and pink are the traditional colors to use for love spells. But I mean, you can use white, you can use color, like for instance, for the candle that represents you, you could use the color of your birthstone. You could use the color of your favorite color. You could use the color of your zodiac sign, your main element that you resonate with. I mean, just what it really can be, whatever. I mean, once again, make the magic your own, and please don't limit yourself on how you do your magic, because if you use red or pink and you don't really like that color, it might not have as good as results for you as it would for another person, okay? So just understand that it's all about you and how you want to make your spell how you feel about the ingredients and the things, okay? And the tools that you use. So, personally for me, I use the male figure candles, alright? And I use the red ones. That's just how I do it. But once again, do what feels right to you, okay? But on the candle that represents you, write your name on it. And whether if it's a glass jar candle, you just use like a marker once again and use in the color that you want and write your name on the glass and your birth date, okay? If you're using a candle that you can actually inscribe directly on the wax, once again, write down or inscribe on it your name and your birth date. That's really all you have to put. You can also add on there your zodiac sign, and you can also inscribe on there your the symbol for the sun and the symbols for Jupiter as well. And that's just going to be like the astrological symbol of the planet. You don't have to do anything fancy. So I'll just show y'all like that. Where's my pen? Okay. That is the sun and that is Jupiter, okay? And you could easily just put those symbols on your candle. So then on the second candle, you're going to want to put different things, okay? Because if you're casting the spell on a specific person, first of all, let me just add this. If you're trying to cast a gay love spell on a specific person, make sure that that person is gay or bisexual at least. Because if you try to cast a gay love spell on a straight guy, it's not going to work how you want, okay? There will be an effect for sure, but it doesn't work out how you want it to. I'm saying that from personal experience more than one time. So just so y'all know, it does not work out right. So make sure that if you're casting it on a specific person, that that person is, you know, on your level. Okay, so if it is a specific person, what you can do is write down their name and their birth date on the other candle. And once again, you can add the symbols of the sun and Jupiter on there, as well as their zodiac sign. Another thing, if you're casting it on a specific person, use their picture as well as one of the main focuses of the energy. So like obtain a picture of the person and have it present on the altar or the work table where you're casting the spell. And don't put it like underneath the candle or anything. Like set it in a position where you can be looking at the picture, okay? So if you're casting the spell on, if you're casting the spell to bring love to you, but you're not trying to cast it on a specific person, then instead of writing a name and a birthday on the other candle, you will just put like the qualities that you're trying to bring in. If you want a specific zodiac sign, put that. If you want specific qualities, loyalty, whatever it is, inscribe that on the candle instead, okay? Be as specific and as concise as you can be. So that means don't inscribe the whole fucking candle in words. Choose the ones that are the most concise to describing as many qualities into one word as you can, okay? Like the word loyalty and things like that, okay? Try to be specific about the age that you want them to be. You know, different things like that. Just be specific. Another thing that you can do is just take a piece of paper and write down all of the qualities that you want in a partner, in a lover. Write down all of the qualities that you want. And then from that paper, you could choose the most important words. Put those on the candle. And then also still keep that paper and like fold it up. And also just have it present on the altar. So the herbs that you will utilize, bay leaves or laurel leaves, whatever you want to call it. Hibiscus, the hibiscus herb, flowers, okay, dried up or fresh. Rosemary herb, okay. Rose petals. And once again, any of these could be fresh or dried up. And what's the other one? Lavender, okay. Those are the ones that I use, but once again, you can use whatever you want with this, okay? Just look up, you know, herbs associated with love and or lust. But, you know, the only lust herb that I included in mine was hibiscus. All the rest of the ones are associated with love because, like, emotional love. Because that's just more important to me than physical lust. But, you know, make the spell yours once again. Now, you're going to need some kind of a love oil to use and to, like, anoint all over the candles. So, I'm not going to tell y'all, you know, what to use again on that note. But there's, like, a lot of different love oils that you can choose. You could use a come to me oil. You could use attraction oil. And there's just different love oils that you can use, okay? So just choose one that you want to use or what's more, what makes more sense. Like if you're casting a spell on a specific person, you know, use come to me oil. If you're casting the spell just in general to draw love to you, just use an attraction oil, okay? And things like that. So what you're going to do is, once you have the candles inscribed, you're going to put the oil, you know, get it on your hands, put it all over. First of all, anoint your candle. And as you're doing that, focus your energy and your intention and to really view that this candle is now representing you. And more than just representing you, you really need to view the candle that it is you, that it has become you, okay? And say that in words, like, I consecrate this candle as, you know, say your name. This candle is now, say your name, okay? And feel that and will it, you know, at the same time. Then when you're doing the next candle, which would represent the person that you're trying to cast a love spell on, or just the lover that you're trying to draw in general, you will anoint it with oil, and as you're doing it, say, you know, this candle is now, or I consecrate this candle as, you know, say the person's name. This candle is now say the person's name again. If it's someone that you don't know who it's going to be, but you're just trying to draw love into your life, you will anoint it and be like, I consecrate this candle as my lover. This candle is now my lover. Or just something, use some words like that. My partner, my husband, my boyfriend, whatever feels right to you. And it's going to be different for each person. Like, make sure that you use the words that truly represent what you're wanting, okay? And some of y'all might be trying to draw a husband to you. Some of y'all might be trying to just draw a boyfriend to you. Some of y'all might be trying to just draw a casual lover to you that you're not trying to get in a relationship with. You know, things like that. So just use the ones that are right for you, for what you're trying to accomplish, okay? Now, after that, what you're going to do is you're going to take all the herbs I mentioned, or the herbs that you're using, and basically sprinkle those over the candles, to where now that the candle's covered in oil, now that the candle's covered in oil, the herbs will stick to the candle. Excuse me again. And this is called dressing the candle, pretty much. If you're using the jar candles, then what you're going to do in that case is, when it came to the oil part, you're just going to like drop oil in the top of the jar candle, and like spread it around in there with your fingers. Another thing that you could do to make more oil fit in there is take like your athame or a nail or something and stick it down into the wax, in the 4 directions, and it will make holes in the wax however deep that you push it in. And then whenever you put the oil in there, it will go into those holes and more oil will like be in the candle, okay? Then when you're doing the herb part on the jar candles, just take like a couple pinches of each herb and sprinkle it once again in the top of the jar candle. You don't want to put too much herbs when it comes to the jar candles, because what can happen is it can end up blocking the wick from burning when you actually light it, and you'll just like waste that candle. Or like the entire top of the candle will just catch on fire because of the herbs, that if you put too much, everything will just catch on fire when you light the wick. And that can like make the rim of the jar candle blow up and explode, and different things that can also ruin the candle. So make sure that you only put, you're going to have to basically learn this from trial and error if you don't know this already, as far as how much. But try to put like a pinch or 2 of each of the herbs, and make sure that you scatter it away from the wick, okay? So once that is done, you're going to take the 2 candles and put them on your workspace, on your altar, wherever that you're doing the spell on, and set them side by side, basically to where the bases are touching. And you could either set them on like one of those saucers types candle holders, if it's if you're using the male figure candles, if you're using taper candles, if you're using some kind of candles that aren't in a jar, put them side by side on like a saucer. You could even just use a saucer plate or a saucer shaped candle holder. Put them side by side on there and sprinkle more herbs around that. What you can also do is include crystals like rose quartz, carnelian. Rose quartz is for love, carnelian is for lust, amethyst is for purity. Once again, you can look up the crystal meanings that will match exactly what you're trying to draw, because amethyst also means like fidelity as well and things like that. So once again, shape the spell. Take what I'm saying right now and shape that around what your ritual is for you specifically, okay? But you can put crystals around this as well, like either on the saucer or like right outside of it in a grid pattern, okay? Or you don't have to do a grid. You can just put like one crystal if you just want to use rose quartz only, or just carnelian only, and just one. You can just set that near this. So I'm not gonna try to tell you how to do that, because you need to make sure that you're shaping this ritual to what feels right for you. But I'm just putting suggestions for y'all in this. So and the next thing that you're gonna do is have some kind of a love incense. A really good one to use is sandalwood. Probably that's my favorite that I would choose to use for a love spell. Whether I was doing it for like a gay person, a straight person, or whatever, sandalwood is just good for love in general because it promotes love and lust. Patchouli is another good one, and like a rose incense, okay? But once again, use whatever you want. I'm just putting the suggestions out there. So what you're going to do next is you're going to light the incense and use the incense to light the candles. And then, now let me go back and tell y'all how to do this part if you're using glass candles, like the 7-day jar candles. What you would do in that case is like put the jar candles side by side, once again touching, and what you can do that is a little bit different is take some red cord or pink cord or white, light blue. Once again, use whatever color that you feel like you should, that represents, love to you, or the type of love that you're trying to, or the type of relationship that you're trying to create. And like get a long length of that cord and tie it around both of the candles to like really bind them together instead of just setting them side by side. You could also do that with the wax candles, but that might catch on fire and like burn and different things. So, I mean, you still can, but I wouldn't. I do use this with jar candles though. So, and then once again, scatter some more herbs around that and the crystals that you want to use, put them around it or by it. And then proceed with lighting it with the incense. Okay. So now we move on to the actual like incantation part. And now once again, while you're doing all of this, you need to be focused on your intention and focused on focusing your energies on what you're doing, and things like that. So just make sure that you're doing that the whole time while you're doing everything that I just described up until this point. Okay, but now when you're at this part, what you need to do is make sure that you are focusing an equal amount of energy, sexual energy, with love energy combined. Okay, I can't express this enough because so many people that I have counseled in doing love spells, they did like lust only, and they didn't even focus on like the intention of actual love from their heart. This is very important to make sure that you do, okay? It's very important, okay? So make sure that you are focusing your intentions properly from a place of lust and sexuality, also from a place of love and spiritual love and emotional love, okay? Make sure you do that. So what you're going to do at this part is focus those energies, emotional love, sexuality, and keep those, flowing as you say the spell. And what you're going to do is you're going to call on, this is the part where you actually call on Apollo and Zeus, or the sun and Jupiter once again. And once again, do this in your own words, but call on them, ask them to be present, offer some bay leaves to Apollo as an offering, or to the sun as an offering. To Jupiter, I would burn rosemary and some lavender, okay? And just burn that as offerings to them. And after you basically called on them, after you invoke their energies into your spell, once again, use your own words, but basically say like, Jupiter, I invoke you to come in to aid me with this love spell, okay? And then once again with Apollo, you would say something similar. Use your own words, okay? But make sure that you state your intention of why you're calling them to, though, at the same time that you're invoking them. So after that, next, you will proceed with the actual spell of itself. So use your own words as always, but if it's a specific person, what you're going to want to do is like visualize that, and this is why I said include their picture on the altar or on the work table, where you can like look at it the whole time, and visualize yourself being intimate with that person. And I mean intimate, not just sex, but like intimate, sex as well, but also like cuddling, holding hands in public, doing things together, going out to eat, going shopping, going to movies, like, whatever that you want. Visualize yourself doing all of these things with that person and in a happy romantic relationship. So once again, make sure that you are focusing your energy from a place of sexuality, but also from a place of just love and emotional, happiness and contentment at the same time. And visualize in as much as detail as you can of doing these different things with that person. Take quite a while doing this because it's important to build up enough energy. So you can I wouldn't do it for any less than 15 minutes of just constant focusing on this part. But I would do it long, up to as long as like an hour, So just do whatever feels right to you, but try to do it for more than just 15 minutes, okay? Or just more than just a few minutes focusing on that, okay? You really need to put a lot, what you put into your spell work is what you get out, okay? And it is magnified. So if you were to focus on visualizing these things for like an hour, you will see the energy of that magnified immensely when you get to your results, okay? Okay, so if you're casting the spell not on a specific person, if you're just trying to draw in love into your life in general, do the same thing of visualizing, but don't just see a specific person, like, and I know that's kind of hard too, because a lot of people, whenever you get to this step, you're gonna end up visualizing people that you know and things like that, that you've either been attracted to in the past or that you are presently, but that's not what you're trying to do. That's okay. Just every time that you start seeing a specific person, cancel that with your intention, and just, that's okay though. Just as long as you make sure that you cancel that as being, not part of your intention to draw that specific person, okay? But you could be like, I want the qualities that this person has, okay? So just make sure you differentiate that when you're visualizing and when the intentions come up, or when these visualizations come up and it's a person that you do know or that you have known and you're not, or that you want to know, whatever. If you're not really trying to cast a spell on that specific person, make sure that you cancel out or clarify that you're actually not trying to draw that person to you, but you do want the qualities that attract you to that person, okay? Things like that. Just be very clear on your intentions, and don't be like so critical of yourself if you do accidentally visualize someone. And once again, take like at least 15 minutes doing all this, up to an hour. If you can do it longer if you want to even, but really do it for at least 15 minutes, okay? Now during this part, you don't necessarily have to say any kind of incantation. I mean, you can, whatever you feel like you should do, but you can just visualize only. And another thing, when you're doing the visualizations, don't perceive that as something that doesn't exist yet, okay? Perceive it as something that is happening real time in the moment when you're casting the spell. That's another very important thing. Basically, like it's how you view your memories. It's real. It's a real thing that has happened already, type of thing. When you're doing these visualizations, view it as something that already exists, okay? Make sure that you do that, because if you view it as something that doesn't exist yet, but that you want, you're kind of not programming the spell right. So you're programming the spell in a place of, this isn't real, this doesn't exist yet, this is something I want. If you visualize it correctly as something that already exists, you're programming the spell of, this already exists, this, I already have attained that which I am casting the spell for. And it makes it more stronger, more faster to manifest. If you do it the other way, it may not manifest at all. Okay, so make sure that you do it correctly on that note as well. Now you can say words like during this entire section of the spell, you could repeat, a rhyming chant. You can just repeat a specific mantra like, now this love comes to me, now this love is mine. You can just repeat those 2 lines over and over again. If it's a specific person, you could just repeat like, now name comes to me, now name is mine, whatever. These are just examples, but you can use really whatever you want to use. You can make it rhyming. You can just say it, how I just said. But the most important thing is that while you're doing the step, you have your energies in the right place of putting sexual energy into it and emotional love energy into it, okay? And that you're viewing it as something that has already existed, or that already does exist, okay? Another way that you could do it is you could just express gratitude and thanks that it already exists. Okay, that's one really good way to get yourself in the right energetic level. Be visualizing what you want, feel sexually and emotionally what it is that you want as if it's already existing, and verbally express thanks and gratitude that already exists for you, okay? That's a really good way to do it. That's how I do it personally. I don't say a spell. I just give thanks while I'm visualizing. And to me, that's just the way that makes it manifest fastest. So that's how I do it, okay? But once again, you can do it however you want. You can say whatever words you want, okay? As long as you have the energetic level proper. And as long as whatever you're saying resonates for you as the proper way to do it, okay? So once you've done this for a while, you will feel a point to where it feels like it's ready. You'll feel the energy has built up enough to where it can't go any higher, pretty much. And you can just release it, okay? And just stop what you're doing. Let the candles continue to burn, and just, say a final thanks to Apollo and to Zeus. Excuse me. And, just, that's it. The spell's done. And then you can just focus on other things. That's another important aspect to this. Do not focus on the spell constantly for the next days after you've cast the spell. Just let it go. Cast the spell and then let it go. All right. Don't for the entire next days keep focusing on spell, like, is it going to work? Is it going to manifest? Because when you're doing that, you're deprogramming the fact that in the spell you said this already exists, okay, on the astral level, and then you're just going to be waiting for it to physically come to you, but it already does exist. So don't deprogram your own spell by later on in the next days or the next hours after you finished it, thinking of the spell and wondering, is it going to manifest or not? Because you're damaging your own spell work. And that goes for any spell work, y'all, not just everything of what I said in this is a template for casting any spell, really, as far as the energetics of it. So, yeah, just make sure that y'all do that in all your spells. Don't question it later on. Not even of like, when is it going to manifest? Don't do that, because you're going to be damaging your spell when you do that. Just let it do its thing, alright? All that you're part to do is to cast the spell, and then to just believe and have faith that it's going to manifest. And you don't try to control when. You don't have to wonder when or how. None of that. Just do not even, okay? Just let it do its thing, and do your part correctly. And once again, even on that level, don't think of it all the time either. Like, yeah, cast the spell and then have faith and believe that it's going to come true. But for the next days, don't be like thinking of the spell constantly. And, just let it go and do its thing and focus on other things, okay? Just focus on your life, on the different parts of your life and the different things that you're doing in your life. And stay focused on that and let the spell manifest, okay, on its own time, however it wants to, alright? And once again, that goes for all spells, not just this spell, but for all of them. So when the spell candles burn down all the way, you can do some different things with the remains. You can put all of the remains into a charm bag or something, a box even, like whatever, a Ziploc bag, like whatever you want to put it in, as long as that holds good meaning for you. Put all of the remains in a bag, in a box, in something, and keep that you can carry it on you, as long as it's not going to make you keep thinking about the spell. You can carry it on you. You can carry it in your car. You can carry it. I think carrying it in your car is a good option, because really it will be anywhere that you go, pretty much near you. Even when your car's parked outside and you're in a building, it's still like in the vicinity of you. Or you can keep it like in your bed, under the mattress, under the pillow, whatever. You could just keep it in your house, in your bedroom, in your home somewhere. Just wherever it feels like to you, it will be the most powerful to keep there, okay? And that's what you're going to do with it. And once again, wherever you put it, as long as it doesn't become a distraction at the level of it makes you think of the spell all the time, okay? Don't let it do that wherever you put it. And another thing I will include in this, I do these spells at the time of the waxing moon phase, which basically I like the new moon crescent phase. I try to do it as close to the new moon as possible. And when I say new moon, I'm not talking about the dark moon. How most calendars have the new moon marked is the dark moon, actually. But I'm talking about the actual waxing crescent moon phase, when you can actually see the moon, a little around sunset, as a sliver of waxing crescent moon. As close to that time as possible, on either a Friday or a Sunday or a Monday. Okay, those are the main days that I cast love spells on in general. Well, love spells in general, really, I would cast that on a Friday. But when it comes to the gay love spells, I think that. Wait, I messed up on that. Love spells in general, I will cast on Fridays or Mondays, close to the new moon, the waxing crescent moon. And gay love spells, I will cast on Thursdays and Sundays. Okay? Because once again, Thursday is ruled by Zeus, Sunday is ruled by Apollo. Okay? If you were casting a straight love spell between man and women, I would cast it on like a Friday, which is ruled by Venus, a moon day, which is ruled by the moon, and I guess if I was casting a spell for a gay love spell for women, I would also cast it on a Friday ruled by Venus, or a Monday ruled by the moon, okay? But once again, I have never done that before, so I can't be sure of the results of that or the energies, but that just seems like to me right now like that would be the days that I would choose for a female gay love spell. Okay. I think that's going to cover it for this. This video went on longer than I expected. But that's definitely how I would do it. That's definitely how I have done it in the past. And it does work pretty powerfully. So, that's my take on this, you guys. I hope that it works for you. Let me know. If you have any questions, let me know if you tried out, what your results are, and if you have a gay love spell. Let me know about it in the comments, and I would be interested to see that. And yeah, I hope that, once again, I just hope that this is useful to y'all, because I don't see it on YouTube a lot. So, I'll see y'all on the next video. Hail to the witches and blessed be, and go get your love.